Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today was shadow work, and I've got a little list here of everything. So if you want to go ahead and watch this video, I don't know how many people are into watching videos about shadow work, but this is something that I had an idea for this whole past week, and then finally got the time to do it today. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this. This is kind of a big deal to some people, and some people, they just, think it's a bit of woo-woo, but there's a bit of truth to it. So let me go over this. So essentially, shadow work, what I wrote down for number one was, you are where your light and shadow lead you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you are home. Okay, might sound strange, but you are home. Number three, it can change if you face yourself, challenge yourself. So, all right, let's look at this here. So shadow work, what a lot of people try to understand, and they watch a lot of videos of that. And I've seen a plethora of that myself, and I feel like about a year or two ago, it seems like a year or two ago, I mean, I probably, and maybe I had some shadow work in the past too, but a year or two ago, I feel like I went through a bit of shadow work. I had to really work on myself in some aspects, and I'm not going to go into too much personal detail into all that, and there's reasons I'm not going to, but I know for myself going through it that it's kind of a big process. It's a big process. It could lead you into a little bit of a hermit mode. It could lead you into a little bit of more really trying to take care of yourself kind of mode. It could lead you into this and that, and it's actually kind of a good thing in a lot of perspectives, but a lot of people think shadow work is this fluffy bunny, you're playing this game, chubby bunnies, and everybody's having fun and having a happy, good, fun time. It's not that at all. It's absolutely not. It's basically, like I said at the end, it's about challenging yourself. But let's look into this here, and let me tell you what I know as far as shadow work is concerned. So the first one I wrote down, the first one was, you are where your light and shadow lead you. So you are where you go. Now, whether you believe in the light and the shadow and aspect and think there's a little bit of, good and bad about you, but I mean, if you look at more Christian stuff, you'll understand that nobody's perfect. So what does that basically say? That means that you have a lot of good inside of you, but there's also the temptation to do the opposite as well. So there is a little bit of a point to, you having a little bit of a dark side to you in that sense, because if people were perfect, and let's say we were all robots, and I'm not saying robots are perfect, but I'm just saying, let's say we all were super perfect, there'd be no point in even understanding the idea of shadow work, right? There wouldn't be any point to trying to improve yourself. You wouldn't need to improve yourself because you'd be perfect, right? If you're perfect, you don't need to improve yourself. I'm just saying, it's just the way things are. If you got a perfect machine, it never breaks down, never does anything, you never have to maintain it, never have to do it. I don't have to do anything with it, I just let it go. So anyways, you are where your light and shadow lead you. So where your personal self is, where you're going with your good aspects and with your faults. This is where you are. This is where you are in life. Some people think these other things brought me here. And in some senses, maybe, possibly. But for the most part, when you're working on shadow work, you're trying to work on something that you were either told would be, a bad quality to move into, and you did, or you felt that is a bad quality now because you can see how it's having an effect in your life. And so this is where you are. You are where you led yourself to be. Number two, your home. It ties into that. Your home right now. This whole shadow work thing, you have to go outside and battle these outside demons and, do all this kind of stuff and do that kind of stuff. No, it's all in here. It's all in your head. It's all in your mind. The shadow work is all within you. You can't ask your friend to do your shadow work for you. This isn't like, hey man, I'll pay you $5 to do my shadow work. Like, you know, hey man, I'll pay you $5 to mow my lawn. It's not the same thing. It's not remotely the same thing. You can't ask other people to do this for you. Your home right here, this is what you have to do for yourself. That's the way it is. You could look up other videos and you could try to understand some other things, and maybe some people give you a slightly different perspective on this, but I'm just saying the best way to understand how to work on shadow work is to recognize that it's inside of you. This could be something like, you know, this could be any one of the things you consider a sin, or you could consider, you know, possibly wrong within your group or society or whatever. This could be something like that, but it's this way of improving yourself is inside of you. You're basically essentially looking at your shadow, and you're trying to shine your light on your shadow. If I had to sum it up in a very descriptive, very basic kind of way, that's kind of the essence of it. But you are home. You are home. You're there. You can't drive 20 miles over this way and then expect to, you know, change your shadow. Your shadow is going to follow you your whole life because the sun's going to shine on you and your shadow will always be behind you, you know. So the third one here is it can change if you face yourself and challenge yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're looking at your shadow, you're shining light on your shadow. You're shining light on the aspect or principle or something like that. Maybe it's something you were taught growing up that you needed to do because maybe you didn't do it very much. But maybe you got to an older point and you started to overdo it, and other people are like, hey man, or hey girl, or whatever. They're like, I think you're overdoing this a little bit too much. And you didn't think so because growing up you always felt like you never had this quality, or you never had this aspect about yourself. But now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, maybe I have gone a little overboard with that. Or, you know, maybe I have. And I'm sort of downplaying the dramaticness of it for some people in some cases, but the fact is, it could come down to a self that you're going to come to this point where you have to challenge yourself, and this is going to be just what it is. It could be a very powerful mental challenge for you to stop yourself from doing something that you know it's not going to be good for you, or, you know, something to that degree. So it's going to come down to a mental game. You're going to have to really mentally force yourself to do something else, or to find a different way, find a different path. And this is where the shadow work comes in, where it's very, very difficult. Now, I could try to point out some games, and if you're new to my channel, if you're a gamer, or if you are just somebody that's looking for advice, this can help you in a lot of ways, because, you know, even being a gamer is, as far as that is concerned, there's a lot of things when you move into gaming that you spend so much time gaming that you unfocus yourself off of other things in the real world, because the fact is, games are fun. They put you into a fantasy state where you can play and have this imagination, but once you turn the game off, real life kicks back in. You have to live in this world, you know. There's things you have to do in this world in order to survive and go forward. And so when you put yourself too much into fantasy as far as a gamer is concerned, you disconnect from the reality situation to a degree that it could be affecting a part of you being able to move forward with something. Like, maybe you've gone, it could create a sense of laziness, in a sense, to the point that you don't, you know, complete all your tasks that you need to do. Maybe some gamers aren't taking care of themselves because of that, and that's a possibility too. But maybe it leads you to some ideas out there that just aren't worth it. They're not worth pursuing. It's a fantastic idea that was within the game, but you try to bring that out into reality, and it just doesn't suit reality. You know, you try to become this thing in reality because you were this in the game, and it's like other people are like, that doesn't work. You know, you can't do that. And so you might actually see this from some other people giving you some suggestions, but the fact is, the only way to fully fix it is to start doing the work yourself. Now, whether that's refining how much you do of something, or just cutting something out altogether, you're going to have to figure out how that works. And you're going to be going through little ups and downs. It's like if you take your mind, you know, and you're on this path right now, right? We're going forward down this road together, but you see this, you see that there's something wrong, and you're trying to figure out how to fix it. Everybody has to go down their own path, and a lot of times we converge on the same road, but there's times that you have to go off-roading. And so this is the point where you start going off-roading. You feel all the bumps. You're in the wilderness. You don't know where the hell you are. And you're trying to figure out this aspect of yourself that you need to fix. And until you understand how to traverse this off-road situation that you're on, you're going to feel lost. So you're going to have to find the way to go off-roading for a bit in a mental capacity to regain an aspect of yourself that you want to improve. And so that's just a little metaphorical way of saying it, I guess. But essentially, this is really what shadow work comes down to. It boils down to you. It boils down to something that you have started to see in your life and you want to change. And it's not going to be the easiest thing ever. You could get some people giving you some comforting words. But the point is, even if they give you comforting words, they can't come into your brain and turn off the valve that you want to turn off, or turn on the aspect of yourself that you want to turn. They can't do that for you. You can constantly go to them every single day and they could give you encouraging words, and that's great if you need a little motivation, but ultimately it comes down to you. You're going to have to take the step, pull up the pants, and put your shoes on, put your brain shoes on, like I say in my game. You have to put your brain shoes on, and you're going to have to actually, do the thing. You have to do it. If you need some words of encouragement, that's great. And I think that's an awesome thing to do if you have a friend that can help you with a little bit of that. But ultimately, that's going to have to come down to you and you alone. So that's the thing about shadow work, that a lot of people, they try to understand, what is the point of it? What is the whole thing? It's an aspect of yourself that you're starting to understand. You're looking at your shadow and you're like, I don't like my shadow. I just want to project beams of light and rainbows and sunshine and unicorns and stuff all day. That's all I want to do. Rainbows. And I'm just kidding. Maybe it's not that, maybe it's not that bright and colorful, but you want to make yourself better in a lot of ways. You want to improve yourself. You want to become the better version of you. And you're looking at aspects of your life that have been dragging you behind. Maybe it's something as simple as, and it's just an example. I'm not saying this is you per se, and this is a very light example. But let's say you drink Diet Coke every day, and you're like, I want to stop that. Is your friend going to come over and slap the Diet Coke out of your hand every time you want to grab one? Is he going to stop you from getting in your car and driving out and buying it? Is he going to do that? He's going to put you under house arrest? You have to focus on making sure that you are capable of controlling yourself in that aspect. It comes down to control of self. So control of self. That's what it comes down to. That's why you are home. It's in your mind. It's you have to challenge yourself. This is a challenging thing. And so that's what I had to say about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to talk about it, definitely leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Some people might consider this a little bit woo-woo, and I don't really consider this woo-woo because I've looked into this a lot, and this makes a lot of sense as far as like life is concerned, and a bit of self-improvement and all that sort of stuff. So it seems to make a lot of sense. It really does. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching Veracity Trigger. If you want to see some more strategic gameplay, I have more videos coming out, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.